Hello, and welcome to this week's look at action and stunts on film and television. How are you? Welcome to Friday. If you've joined us during the course of the week on the podcast, you will know that we are talking about the Hollywood Stuntman's Hall of Fame and the man behind it, John Hagner. Sadly no longer with us, but an extraordinary individual whose passion for the stunt business was such that he created a remarkable archive, which was in a situation to, expand the horizons of many a film buff by getting an opportunity to go there to Moab in Utah. Lots of background bits and pieces which we checked out on the podcast. If you haven't done that, go and do it. Go and check out the podcast, then come back here and you can catch the rest of it. I promised you that there would be some footage. I'm still trying to sort out the disc. The disc is here. This is the actual DVD that was sent to me some time ago, and it's the content on it is terrific, but the quality is very poor, and I'm having to resort that. So once I've got that done, then this will become available, and I'll pop it up on the channel. But for now, we're going to explore the Hollywood Stuntman's Hall of Fame via those wonderful people from the 1990s that were stunt masters. Here we go.
For more than 4 decades, filmmakers have been drawn to this remote, unpopulated desert in Utah. It's because the arid landscape surrounding the city of Moab presents a spectacular panoramic backdrop. So it's only fitting that Moab would be the home of the only Hall of Fame and museum dedicated to those film people who put the real thrills into those thrilling days of yesteryear, the Hollywood Stuntmen.
Welcome to the Hollywood Stuntman's Hall of Fame.
Former stuntman and memorabilia collector John Hagner founded the Hall of Fame and Museum to honor those whose feats of daring usually go unsung.
What fascinated me the most and still does is the fact that stunt people are hired to do things that are seemingly impossible, and they have to make it look as if it's an accident.
What also fascinates Hagner are the ingenious devices the stuntmen would construct to perform difficult stunts. Ever wonder how those movie cowboys make those leaps or falls from their horse? They use one of these, a stirrup step. Here's how it works. The stuntman rides up alongside the stagecoach and jumps from his horse to the stage. But to do this, the stuntman needs something to push off from. The stirrup is not stable enough.
So instead of using the stirrup to fall from the horse, you take your foot out, you step onto the stirrup step, which is solid against the horse, and it gives you a solid base to leap from.
This particular stunt was performed by one of the greatest stunt pioneers, Yakima Canutt. It was Yak who turned falling off a horse into an art form. And when Western film idol John Wayne wanted a stunt double, he got the best. That's really Yakima riding the bronc, not the Duke. But Hagner says most people don't know that together, John Wayne and Yakima Canutt left a lasting stunt legacy. They helped, as Hagner says, to beautify the brawl.
The early pictures that Wayne did with Yakima Canutt, the fights were not choreographed to the extent that they are today. So they just got their heads together and said, we've got to make the fight look more convincing.
What Wayne and Canutt created was the pass-throw punch. And nothing gives Hagner greater pleasure than sharing such secrets with Hall of Fame visitors.
Now I'm going to take my hand away, and you really hit me hard, right where my hand was. Go ahead. Ooh. Oh. Wow. Ooh. What? Oh, geez. Definitely stunt people are the unsung heroes. They're getting more recognition now than they did in the past. And they're entitled to it.
So the next time you see a lightning-quick draw, a seemingly impossible wing walk, or some courageous bone-crunching Western action, think of the stuntmen and women who wrote the book on hair-raising motion picture excitement. Lessons still learned by today's stunt masters.
There is always room anywhere for the member of the public taking a swing at a stuntman. And particularly once you've done some training like that, you do it over and over again. It's repetitive. It's mind memory. You do it over and over and over and over again, and then bang, deliver it every time. And I imagine that was quite an interesting part of the live show. On that DVD that I was referring to at the top, there is part of that live show, so you get an opportunity to see John in action. Now, on the subject of John in action, we did touch on the podcast about him being an extraordinary artist, and up on your screen currently you will see a selection of his work. Take a look at that. I mean, that really is sensational stuff. You've got images there of Cliff Lyons, for instance, and the author himself, and he really is very, very talented indeed, and the place there in Moab has many of those there. The other thing to take into consideration is this book, and this book is a real important book, I think. Falling for Stars, which was written by him. It says Volume 1 on it. I'm struggling to find a Volume 2. If I can find a Volume 2, that would be super. But certainly Volume 1, which was all of this was sent to me from John himself. Ultimately, that's where it turned up. And some great stuff along the way. So that's probably going to turn itself into an audio book, I imagine, in the not too distant future, all things being well. There's a couple of other little projects audiobook wise which are rather nice to have been offered, so on the strength of that there will be an option to get hold of that further down the line, but certainly the Hollywood Stuntman's Hall of Fame is an important archive. It's an important archive where all of eventually, you know, the stunt performers offering pieces of equipment. The L step you see there, saddle stirrup, the saddle step, the L step, you see that there. That's from it's been offered through, I think it was from Yakima Canutt, I think ultimately had provided that, and there's some terrific stuff there as well. So I don't think it's still going, and I will find out the details and see if that. I know the website's been removed. There was a great website at one time, and it's a great shame that Johnny Hagner's no longer with us. He'd like this show. He would have been one of those people who would have been on it quite often. You know, he would have been a great guy to discuss at length on film regarding parts of the business and all that sort of stuff. I've had a couple of phone call conversations with him over the years, and they were entertaining enough, but it would have been great to have him on the show. Sadly, he is no longer with us, but he is with us in spirit, and that we have to be thankful for. So I hope you have enjoyed that brief look at the Hollywood Stuntman's Hall of Fame. Next week we are looking at the David Holmes documentary, The Boy Who Lived, which is absolutely remarkable. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. It's on, what is it on, Disney Plus? I think it's Disney Plus and HBO. So if you are overseas, you may catch it there. Disney Plus, I think I have it over here. And please check that out. It is a remarkable documentary. And for those who haven't seen it or aren't able to see it, we will review it next week. So thank you very much indeed again for your time, and check out the Pod Dojo Network, who are responsible for the podcast. And until next time, it's bye for now.